Many years ago, I came across a few lines in a book that I connected with. They were, "It's easy to judge, but you never know another person's heart, what gives them strength and what breaks them down." I have learned to listen more and speak less. The result has been eye-opening conversations and inspirational moments that I have shared with you right here. Hello and welcome back to my channel. We're on location in the heart of Kampala City, Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and this show, Crystal One-on-One, is brought to you by Roke Telcom. Today I have a businessman and a pastor that I'm sure you know very well. Dr. Franklin Mondo Mugisha joins me on the show.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine. How are you?
It's good to see you here, and
nice
viewers,
to see you.
God bless you. Thank you for watching. I believe that the more you watch and share this great knowledge, I don't give interviews, I give knowledge.
Oh, okay. I like the way of looking at that because you're sharing a piece of yourself, what you've learned.
Exactly. I share what will bring people to realize their God-given potential, and not particularly religious, because there's more than the church. Life throws 80% than 20% of the church. So to me, yes, that is what it is, and I believe that is what it makes up for me. And every time I come before a television and a broadcasting, I've just been counting with my media team. I've recorded with 972 televisions. That is almost the whole world. I've traveled 69 countries of the world. This is too much. Sometimes I think
When they told you this, did you actually believe it?
Yeah, I believed it because I remember each and every interview that I've made. So my team has done a great job to make sure that we discover and rediscover the path of our work and our ways. And I'm really very grateful. I'm very humble to say that today I'm on your channel. So that adds on my list of the team.
Well, thank you so much.
So every time I come to the camera, I come for inspiration. I come for direction. I come for wisdom. I come for building capacity in every man. The world will judge us at the end of the day, not by how much money we had, how many buildings we owned, but by how much impact we made. The world will forget what you did for them. The world will forget how much things you gave them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
When did you know this was your calling?
About 7 years ago, I discovered that I have potential inside of me. I have greatness that has been deposited inside of every human being. I began to analyze and have edit button. Every time you don't have that edit button to edit your life, you give out unleavened bread. You give out life, you give out character, you live a life that is not fulfilled. So I got that edit button of life. I began to discover, I began to search, who is Franklin Mondo Mugisha? What is my purpose in pursuing and in pursuing in life?
We have so many motivational speakers, people who want to inspire others. But if you have nothing to draw on to begin with, how are you supposed to do that? Because you're repeating what you hear other people say.
Exactly. Life is very simple. It makes a meaning when you begin to give what you felt by nature. When you give the real story, when you give the real you, you become more inspirational. Because I can't say I'm a life coach. Many people have called me that. Franklin, you're a life coach. You're life changing. And I'll tell them, I'm not life changing, actually. But I'm a person who is a path, who is a light. I cast a light for you to walk the path of life that you want to read. And that's what it is. Two, I began to build men to become men. We have many males. To become a male does not define you to be a man. A man is defined by character and by what comes out of him. Many men, you find many boys trapped into adult bodies.
Yeah.
We've got
And
many
they're
boys
still living as boys.
Exactly, and many of them have died without experiencing and enjoying the beauty of being a man.
So what stops? I mean, essentially, it's kind of growing up.
It's what is
maturity.
deposited in you. You are a product of what is put inside of you.
Okay.
Whatever character you see in a man, if you see an abusive man, there is somewhere he picked it from. There was a talk he got. There was a friend who told him that. I fixed my wife by beating her. He doesn't know that the wife just kept quiet. But abusive way is not the right way of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell men, I said, if you convinced your wife with a tongue has no bone, and your wife came to your bed, came to the wedding, why can't you use the same tongue to collect her?
I like that. Yeah.
Use the same power. Go back to Edith Button and say, how did I bring Crystal to my courtyard? How do I keep Crystal? When you begin to discover exactly what manhood is, you begin to understand a creature called a female. Many men don't understand who women are. I can say
they
this.
say we're a mystery.
Exactly. Because simply they have not taken time to study who women are. Women are like computers.
Okay.
What you deposit in them is what they give you. Women in Proverbs chapter 31, you discover that woman is a most businesswoman, an entrepreneur. Many men fear the women to become more powerful than them. It's a worry and a nightmare of every man to have a powerful woman who is outside the public, and successful woman in his courtyard, and he's called a wife. And I want to give a comfort to that man to discover, and hear me very well, because this is going to change your, transform your life. And I want you to hear this. I want you to hear it and hear it again and hear again. Every time you give a sperm to a woman, she'll give you children. You give her grocery, she'll give you a meal on the table. You give her time, you get love back. You give her attention, you receive her mind. You go into her world. You give her security, you have a full wife at home. Women don't want these iPhones. They don't want even a car. You can give her a Range Rover, beautiful. I've counseling a lot of rich women out there
who are miserable,
who are very miserable in their houses.
I think that's the thing. Most people think, this didn't work, and you don't stop and review what went wrong and what can you do different the next time.
So that's why we have these relationships. We have business relationships that has not been able to be, or to produce the right nuts. We've not been able to discover the potential in us. It goes back to Crystal, to what we've been talking about, knowing who we are. And also, when you know who you are, you also speak about who you are. Tell your friend, I snap. This happens to me. When you say this takes me off because of this reason.
Yeah, okay.
I had a girl who was my friend. She's still my friend. She's actually called Crystal.
Okay.
Crystal lives in Manhattan, New York. Every time she sees a man beating a woman, she doesn't wait for police. She'll fight that man.
She will jump in.
You don't ask.
Okay.
Not because of anything. A man who was the father abused so much her mother. So all the revenge is on man. So until I sat down and talked to Crystal, I said, Crystal, you don't resolve a problem by by creating another one. There are better ways. I've been mentoring her. She's better. She's a doctor, and she went to recently. She's been transferred to Johns Hopkins University Hospital, and she's doing very well. She's one of those big researchers and a surgeon as well. So to me, it is the way of life, not what we've been educated. And more middle class people, that's what amazes me. They are convinced they know the ways of life. Because they can afford a car, they can put on a makeup, they can go to a steam bath and their face looks nice. They think that's how life runs. It runs around them. And then there are these terrible girls I pity who get blue band, avocado, mix them up and become brown. They want to look like Crystal. And Crystal was born that way. That is her nature. But they want to blue, light skin like you. I call them yellow bones. They want to become like a yellow bone of East London of South Africa. It calls some people. And on the end of the day, they can't interpret the dream of who they want to be.
Because if you don't accept yourself as you are,
They want to have an iPhone. They want to have a new Nokia that has come out, a new Samsung that has come out. They want to live a life they have not worked for. And all they want to do is go to Instagram, slay, take pictures. But remember, when you sleep back in your bed, when nobody looks at you, after bath, you're putting on your night dress, you're seated. There are questions that pop into your head, asking you the answers of life. It is my sincere apologies to parents who expected something and they're getting something else from our generation. I don't know how those parents feel to give birth to a child who is not productive.
don't you think that as parents we also make some mistakes?
No one prepared us, so we can't prepare anybody.
Okay.
Crystal, you can't give what you don't have.
But
Our parents, their life was a gamble.
life was a gamble, but you see, they worked hard, they tried this, they tried that, they had to make and sweat to get what they have.
Crystal, can I tell you something? Side of the parents. I always tell people there are no rich men in Uganda.
Okay.
They are men with money.
So who is a rich man?
He's the one who tells his son his failures, how he started, his pain, and his success. The children of rich men don't know where their father started. That's why when they die, their welfare dies. Because children don't have guts to say, my father started from zero. I can rise again and bring it back to where my father left it. I can keep what my father... When you know the price of what your father went through, you work hard with more price to make sure that you keep what your father started. Today, children are selling land, killing even their parents because they did not discover who they are. What's the problem? Their parents did not tell them what made them, what's the foundation for their wealth. Whenever you don't tell your children how you're going to be, a wealthy man is a man who dies and leaves his wealth for other children. Even look the manner of the way we do business today. It's all wrong. An Indian man has a shop. He sleeps up, he works from down. Most Indian men don't have even shoes. Have you discovered that? They're in sandals.
Yes, all the time, yes.
Every money he's making, even the food he's buying, he doesn't buy food. They cook it up and they bring it down.
Yeah.
Kampala people, we want to park a car on the street, pay a ticket, Gina's pass, later. Kabalagala passes, later. Later. The one with the selling bras, break. The one who is selling success, break. The one who was with the brows you break. By the time you finish, you're in the same capital, 5 million or 10 million you put in the shop. Really, how much are you making to sustain your bills? Then you have part of transport, then the food at home and the needs at home. What kind of business are we doing? Are we washing? Just so trying to say...
Because your business is supposed to take care of your every
Exactly. We don't know how to say, this is a baby I'm growing. You know, when you invest, I tell people, when you invest money, it's like dead money.
You just put it there and
leave it to grow. Give it time. Concentrate on other things. I tell middle class people, they're the most people affected by COVID-19. When you do work is for paying bills. Work is for paying bills. Work is for paying bills. Work is not for you, make you wealthy. What makes you wealthy? Work helps you to create wealth comfortably without a struggle.
Okay.
So the money that comes in runs your daily bills, your water, your car, your mortgage, your small things. But to create wealth that your children will do, it will start out of your work, not in work. If you still look at work as alpha and omega, you're one of the colonial thinking system people that co-workers with the colonialists that are going to die poor. That after working for 30 years, they give a certificate and then you take a picture with a white man and say, thank you, faithful servant. A paper. And you take it and a small glass they have designed and they put your name. And then when people come to your home, you say, I used to work with Kirembe Mines. You look.
And that's the pride.
And that's a pride to take. You die a foolish man.
You said that there are many men with money, but people who are not wealthy. Because wealth is like generational. Like it can
it's inherited.
be passed on. Yes.
And it's not inherited to be eaten. It's inherited to be kept to help another generation. If you don't mentor your generation, problems will mentor you. If you don't create jobs, someone's going to create one and you're going to be their master, their servant.
Okay.
Okay, let me talk to those workers. You're a product of slavery. You're creating and building someone's dream. That's why you're employed, and after 30 days, they say, thank you, servant. Until you get out of that category, you start creating a wealth that you dictate. You're still poor, you're still down, and you're going nowhere. You can reject this truth, but you remember it when you start earning money out of your work.
Okay. Now, some people would be very uncomfortable with that, especially if they are professionals in some fields.
What is
like,
professional?
for example, in
do
like
you know what professional is?
Mm-hmm.
It's a psych system put inside you, teaching you. You graduated out of cramming. you know, this is by employing you, they look at you as a drafter and you don't want to believe it. You're just putting on a tie. When you're rich man, what rich man do you see putting on a tie?
That's a good point, by the way.
No rich men who are putting on ties and these shining shoes and who are putting on the suits. You're just a slave of another kind. You know, some of us, we look at people. Some of you look, you know, I meet them and I look at them. They give you the business card. I work for some. This is a smart slave. He's a smart slave.
Wow.
You're a smart slave, baby.
That's very uncomfortable.
You're working for somebody. Yeah, but the truth is you're working for someone's dream. Someone
You're
created,
building there.
Yeah, someone created a dream for you, put a sketch for you. You have to develop it to make it better. So being employed as a CEO and the money is going to somebody else, you're a good servant. It's a white man mentality. They don't teach us invention. That's why you have a bogus education. You study 10 things, you major in 3. They stretch your brain to the maximum. And you major in 3. Have you thought about that? From primary, in secondary, they teach you how many things?
So
the things even you know. And then on the end of the day, you say, no, what do you want to be? Hey! That is cramming. Masaja mujoga. Mujoga. Really, think about it.
You said that, you know, I asked you who taught you to be a man, and you said life. Life taught you. Where were you born? Were you born here in Uganda?
I was born in Uganda.
I need to hear about this life that taught you.
I am a man who wants to learn. Off camera, I listen so much. I'll download.
Okay.
Because life is education.
Yeah.
So once you take that as your key point to live, a receptive man is a powerful man. He lives extra life that others don't.
Okay.
So when your mind is open to hear, you perceive quite a lot and you do quite a lot.
Okay, so you said you were born here in Uganda. Where was that?
I was born in Zambia Hospital.
In Zambia Hospital.
Many years ago.
And were you part of a very big family?
A small family.
A small family.
Yeah, and I was raised up in Chukubamutwe, partly. That's one of the ghettos of Kampala, in Kabalagala. I'm a ghetto boy.
Okay.
I'm a hustler. I'm a son of a maid.
Okay.
My mother was a house girl, working for a guy called Voropi, who was by that time, he was still young, was Ajip petrol station. I don't know if you saw Ajip.
I remember Ajip.
Yes, Ajip. You remember Ajip. So Ajip petrol station, This gentleman was a directing managing director for Ajip, Uganda, right from Italy, and they came in here, and my mother was working there, was a housemaid.
Were you living there with her?
No,
or-
actually,